Chi Creation, The Windows to Spirit, Part 6. So we've got finches and how they resemble the peacock feather. You got the blackness, so like the window part of it, and then the feather colours. And if we turn it sideways, you can see here the waves are black. You can't see the colours of them, but you can see the colour of the sky in the background. So that's like the sunset, and that's why the waves are in darkness. So this one looks like it's already night time, and so you can't see any of it. But in previous episodes for the anteater, it had the pattern that went around its neck and then it went up to its mouth area. So it was showing the same pattern, although this is like, inverted in that kind of sense in terms of colour. So we see there, like the centre line for the beak, and the waves come down in that kind of way. And then you got the colours as well. And blues, yellow, greens. So we got this one. How it's the opening, and then the consciousness coming out. So the same as we saw with the fish, you see the waves, the hollowness, the peacock feather at the window. There's a window there, and the entire thing is a window as well. So a few more, and you got your different sunset colours and your peacock feather colours. So here we can see that part. So like the waves are coming in here this time on the back. We saw it on front for where the beak is, but on the back you've got that same pattern. So like the butterfly wings, how it separates at the back as well. So you've got like the blue, so like the waves coming in. So it's another example of that peacock feather. You also got out indents there, so you got the heart shape. So you like the realm, the black hole shape and stuff, which fits on the peacock feather as well. Like that black hole shape, the consciousness and all that kind of thing, bubble of consciousness. Yeah, so in that sense, how you got that shape. Now it's common with birds, so you got that C shape, and then you got the waves. It's got the reflection there, so you can see the mirror image. So how it reflects the realm in that way. So again, you got the C shape, you got the white of the waves crashing, and then the sunlight coming through too. So it's a bit bright, but you got that curl, so you can see that it has that shape to it. Its head's down, but that'd be the waves as well, as with its tail as well. So you got the same again, that swooping shape. The waves, you can see all the wave patterns, and then the sunlight coming through the wave itself. So like that fish we saw with the sunlight. These, like that. It's got the sunlight coming through it. So there. So again, you got this shape, and the waves, so it's on both ends. That's where the waves are with the sunlight crashing, and that's like the tail or the rest of it. It depends. When we see it from the macro, we can see that's the tail, you know what I mean? But that's also like where the sun kind of shines through and all that kind of stuff. So we've got more of a swoop on the curve. You could see it on the back end of the previous picture. You know, like this part, you can see it there. You can't see it there as much. It is there a little bit, but it looks more straight. So there we can see it more. So, like that black hole, like the sunlight comes round, and then it's got this, the hollowness, the blackness, of where the consciousness comes out of, where it exists. It's like a micro of a macro. Like there, its tail, its waves crashing. The food comes in and out, like on the macro scale of things. So we've got a swan, and if we turn it, we can see it in that kind of way as well. So you've got the black hole, how the wings come round it in that kind of way. You can see how a cup, you can see like the hollowness, that negative space. That's the realm area, and all this stuff is like the mechanics of what creates the realm, like the causation of a chakra, what not causation, like the byproduct of the chakra. Say if a chakra is producing sand, then that's what that dust cloud is. Then it's doing the same thing as like the waves at the shore. So it's like the wave, it churns up the sand, and it's kind of simulates eating, because it's like it's going in one end and then it takes it out the other, in that kind of sense. Like the wave. So I kind of think the realm does that in a way, you know, and that's kind of like part of its production in a sense of what it is. And so we can see the realm in that kind of way. We can see the peacock feather as well. And we'll look at it this way, and then we can see the skull. Especially for a bird, it's got the beak. But in the same sense, like the eyes, if we turn back, and then it's the yin and the yang, and so like the sun at the top and the sun at the bottom, in that kind of sense. And we see it as a reflection and on the horizon, don't we? So that's one aspect of it. So like the realm, if the realm's got a sun up and one below as well, you know, because it makes me question. It's like, is there a realm underneath us, or is it just one realm? You know, it's kind of like it's stuff I've kind of speculated over. So until I can find more evidence. but yeah, so in that kind of sense, we can see the realm in terms of like the anatomy for the skull, and how this also like the pelvis, so like the hip sockets, so where your legs are detached, so where the sun is represented for your legs in that kind of way, or for your hip section. So how that matches, it's got your DNA in it, so your hips will grow in proportion for your head. How we showed it for your back as well in Waves of Love, Waves of Enlightenment. We showed like how the head does a micro to macro to your back, how it's got the same DNA pattern. So yeah, we're showing you the same with the hips in that kind of way as well. So now we've got the heart shape. I know that's like the realm, I can't turn it, but so you can see how the realm, like the shape of it, that's the spin to go around that way and that stuff. The waves coming out of it, the tail, and then we've also got the sun. If we turned it upside down, then it'd look more like the sun in that kind of sense. You got the blackness of it, or the brightness coming from the outside of it as well. So you got your love, and you got your light, and your consciousness. So as the as the ocean makes the waves, it's it's matching up the pattern of the chakra. So as it matches that pattern, it's creating the eye functionality of what chakras have in that symbolicness of consciousness. Our chakra is conscious. It's like, the chakra can probably see without the eye being there in terms of like psychic ability. And so we see it in that sense. And how it looks like the realm, it looks like the sun, like the black hole. How it looks like glass. It looks like the realm. And so, like, like there's an entire world within there. And also in the sense of you go within to explore, like, the spiritual realm. And so, like, it's like the deeper you go in, the more expansive you find the spiritual realm in that kind of sense. And so within, even though it's small, there's an entire realm in there in that way. There's an entire consciousness within it, which is like, it's like the same thing. So on the macro, like the brightness of the sun, and then the dark hollowness of the sun. And so, like, where life exists is within that area. If the snail were there. But you've also got the yin yang. So, like, the point and of the realm. As the water lifts and the sun shines through, he's got that window into this realm. And so we see the wave lift and the sun shining through it. Oh, it looks like that ant frog. It's like that same pattern, same colours. And how it looks alive. We've mentioned it in previous episodes and stuff. It's like that snout area. So our wave lifts up. Our animals, excuse me, how animals reenact that the way of the ocean in that kind of sense. The wave lifts up, the eye can see. It's a functionality to its natural way of being. And so you can also see the peacock feather. So again, it lifts and it can see. And you got the peacock feather. A peacock feather. So like the window, like the round area. And this one, because it's got that reflection and it's familiar when we look at it that way. And it's the same as that. And so, like the reflection of the sun in the water. And the peacock feather shape. So we see the peacock feather there. I'll put it that way. So we've got the tail, the tip of it. and the realm, and we can see the sun, the brightness of it. Some of it looks like wood. You know, I mean, it's got that cracked kind of look to it and stuff. I mean, it isn't, but it's not wood. But I mean, it's got that same look to it. So, I mean, there's a connection. You know, we're saying that we came from the trees and all these kind of things and stuff. So, the relationship should be quite relevant in that kind of way. I feel like the wood knot. You know, like the orange glow that you get off it as well. But you got this here, how this comes down here, and it tails off that way as well. So here you can see it comes out, and then you got this, then it drops down, across and down. Brightness of the sun there, black in the centre, a peacock feather. Again, like the waves, like it's showing in that tree. Where is it? Like that. That's simulating water, showing the water. And so, like, you know, the wave comes over and such. Sometimes you see it over there. It depends on wood knot. We've got some later. It might not be this episode. But you can see that part is more reminiscent. And so we pointed out there you can't see it as well on this one, but on this one, this part's more prominent. So as it comes over and it's got this part here, and we compare it to cats, and see where that wave, how it comes up in that way, and you see how it comes down there. So you compare it to that frog. It's got that snout on the tip of it. You know, the wall of a wave on the side of a frog. In that sense, it goes down there as well. Oops, where do I? There we go. And so, like a wave, it comes up and it's able to see. There's that bubble of consciousness, a window into this world in that way. It's got this shape. It's got more thicker lines. So it looks more similar to the frog, or reminiscent of it. So you see how it lifts up. So as it simulates the opening and closing of the eye every time the wave comes up in that way. And so we see it there in that same way. It's again like the wall of a wave, the eye, and then all the froth at the top of the wave. And the bit in front of a wave where a wave's already crashed over, you got all the froth coming down here. The same again. But this time you've got it there as well. So it's the wall of a wave, you've got the froth at the top, froth at the bottom. From previous wave. So as it stretches out, you can see how it's the wall. You see the light coming through it, and creating it, making it blue. It's like the water spinner there, so the light can affect it in that way. There's all the lines where the water pulls. That's quite good because you can see how the light is working through the wave. There's that green water. So now back onto. So as we see, how the snout comes down, and so like of a frog, it's the same thing, but it's just a lot bigger. How that comes back down that way as well. Hold on. Like that. So that's the body of the elephant and then the tail. So you got it same in a way. The different sizes and stuff like that. Oh. And frog is an example as well. So that's quite low down. It's not as high as like the elephant as such, but it's still the same shape. So this is one example of the shape. We covered it in previous episodes as well. You know, like with the peacocks we were showing. It's like this, like because that's like the eye, and then you got the tail. So you've got like the realm, the consciousness, all that kind of thing. That's what its heart is. So. So we've got it here in that same sense. We can see the consciousness, we see the body, so like the realm in that kind of sense. If we look at it like that's the flamingo body and that's its neck, and so we can see how, you know, I mean, its body's there and that's part of that anatomy in that way. So you can see the wave in the same way that we see it on the frog as well. So the line goes down that way as well, but it dots off. Yeah, also got the peacock feather. Actually, I'll go back. As you can see that. And then you can see it on there again. So the peacock feather. So it comes to a point and tapers off. So there you can see how it comes down further there, and so you can see that, well, how high that is in that kind of sense. If that's the ocean, you know, if that's where the lift starts, then, you know, you can see like it's much more fitting for an elephant in a sense, you know. I mean, it depends. The eye would have to be bigger as well, but the shape's still there. Like the trunk could be coming down. It depends which way it is. That could be the trunk, or its tail. It depends which way. So, but it's the same thing. As the wave comes up, the consciousness is there. So again, the peacock feather. It's quite high, so it's more suited for elephant. Reminds me of like water's rougher there and it's smoother there, so it's not catching the light as much, or there's no froth on that area, you know. So it kind of looks, you know, it's still like you're looking at the ocean. It could be walls of a wave, you know, in that kind of sense. Oh, and we're moving on now. So yeah, the peacock in the cobra. So now we're looking at eyes, and we're seeing how it's like the peacock feather. So like that, it's supposed to be eyes, but you look at one in that kind of sense, and you can see, and pointed up ways, it's more like a leaf or a peacock feather. So again, like the bushy ones, because you get quite bushy peacock feathers. But no. So in this one, you can see the sweeping arc of a wave. It looks a bit like the eye that you'd get on like old-fashioned Greek fishing ships, fishing ships, and would paint the eye on the side of a ship and stuff, kind of thing, at front. So I don't know, but it also seems to have like some sort of spiritual significance as well. I mean, it should be with the eye anyway, you know, but in terms of like it's showing you the ocean, it's showing you the significance of the communication of the sun and the ocean, and that's what the eye kind of really shows you in a way. You know, it's that chakra aspect of it and stuff. But this won't turn either. Again, a bit more dramatic. So, you know, for showing that peacock feather in that kind of way. So we say outlines. It's like how they fit for your eyelashes. So we see like if we cut the bottom off, and you see it as a peacock feather there, like all the feathers, and then the bubble of consciousness which is within it. So I don't know. I mean, that helps as well because you've got your stem, you know what I mean. But sometimes if you kind of hide it for a second, it kind of shows you more of that peacock shape in a way. It's like, you know, for that area and such. It's like, you know, you look into the eye, like we look into the peacock feather. So we see like into the realm in that way. So again, bushy in terms of like the peacock feather. So it sweeps as well. It's the same pattern and shape. So that's the window to spirit is within it. Everybody has that spark of creation within them, that spark and connection to source in that way. And it shows you that, you know, everyone, including creatures, anything, you know, of consciousness, is sacred basically. So I'll save animals for next episode and such, but you know, including them in that kind of way. And plants. And so you got that same shape, how it cups like the wave. It's also like the peacock feather, the sunlight. So like the realm. Oh, it's layers. It's domes. The realm. So like this. In that next picture, we'll see it like that. It's the wrong way. That way. So like the waves coming in. And that's the reflection. And it's the same as that. And we showed the feather to be like the wave in Waves of Love series. So in that same sense. We see it on butterflies as well. So we see the waves coming over. It's showing you the same picture that's on the peacock feather. It's got the waves and the reflection. The waves and reflection. So it's serving as a window to spirit, or a window into this world for spirit, or both. It's a shame it's a bit bright and the camera's not taking it as well, but that pretty much sums it up. So thank you for watching.